your season or occupation.
Hey guys, welcome, or better yet, welcome back to Pandora Plays. I am so happy you're here. Today, I'm starting a new way of doing my channel. I'm not very familiar with reaction videos, really didn't know what I was doing, but the more I'm doing it, the more I have an idea of what I want to do based on my nature. So, if you take a look at the video playlists that are on my channel, you'll notice that The Warning, which is probably the band that I've done the most reactions for, are separated in playlists of discography. So you have basically 21st Century Blood, Queen of the Murder Scene, Mayday, and then the videos that I did for the songs, I put in the different playlists, right? So I decided that from now on, if I really want to get into a band deeply, I'm gonna start doing disc by disc, basically. So before I jump into Ayreon more, I decided that I would actually do it the right way for me. So I checked out on the fandom wiki page how it all works and the universe, the chronology of the story, and decided that I'm gonna start at the very beginning. Yes, I'm looking right now at the wiki, and it says Ayreon is a musical project by Arian Anthony Lucassen. The music of Ayreon covers a vast universe from the beginning of time to the destruction of mankind in eons afterwards. The albums featured in this is The Final Experiment, Actual Fantasy, Into the Electric Castle, kind of remind me of Asimov. Anyway, Universal Migrator Part 1, The Dream Sequencer, Universal Migrator Part 2, Flight of the Migrator, The Human Equation, 0101, 1001, The Theory of Everything, The Source, and eventually Transitus. So when I was going to do The Day the World Breaks Down, when I was going to listen to that, it just felt like it made more sense to start at the very, very beginning. I'm going to do today's Final Experiment, which is the synopsis for that is in 2084, mankind is on the brink of collapse. A group of scientists send visions of humanity's downfall into the past in one last effort to save itself. The Final Experiment. Yes? The first song of that is called The Prologue. And when I clicked on that, it brought me to this plot, which is Merlin explains the purpose of the final experiment to save mankind. In the year 2084, after almost a century of war and ecological abuse, the Earth is virtually uninhabitable and the human race is on the verge of extinction. In one last attempt to stop the devastation, scientists have devised the Time Telepathy Project, a computer program capable of sending images of humanity's decline back through time with the hope they will be picked up by someone who can change the course of history. With no control over where these images go, they are received by the mind of a blind minstrel in 6th century Britain called Ayreon. So that's so interesting. When I was looking at that discography, it's humongous. It's giant. And yeah, it made me very excited. So yeah, I decided I'm just going to start from the very beginning. If you want to join me, that would make me happy. I'm going to do playlists for each CD and see how that goes. So the very first one is called Prologue. These are the lyrics. The Time Telepathy Experiment. This is the voice of Merlin. Listen well, for it concerns you. This chronicle commences in the year 2084 AD. Mankind has virtually destroyed itself. Its survival depends on the final experiment. Scientists from the 21st century have developed a new computer program called Time Telepathy. By using this technique, they have sent visions of humanity's decline back in time. These transmissions have been received by the mind of a blind minstrel who lives in 6th century Britain. His name is Ayreon. Then there's the Overture, instrumental, Ayreon's quest. Merlin, it shall be Ayreon's quest to sing of these visions and thus warn the world of its impending downfall in order to change its future into a long and prosperous one. That sounds so good. Does that sound good? Yeah, it sounds really, really, really good. Without further ado, let's jump right in. So this is what I found linked to the fandom. So it must be the best one. All right. So let's jump right in.
This is the voice of Merlin. Listen well, for it concerns you. This chronicle commences in the year 2084 AD. Mankind has virtually destroyed itself. Its survival depends on the final experiment. Scientists from the 21st century have developed a new computer program called time telepathy. By using this technique, they have sent visions of humanity's decline back in time. These transmissions have been received by the mind of a blind minstrel who lives in 6th century Britain. His name is Ayreon. It shall be Ayreon's quest to sing of these visions, and thus warn the world of its impending downfall in order to change its future into a long and prosperous one.
That was that was very cool. It sounded very science fiction. It also sounded very big, like you're going to a big show. And I really love the string. Wow, that was the string section so good. Yeah, I'm excited. Am I excited? Yeah, I'm excited. I'm very curious to see how this goes. And yeah, I hope you'll join me. It's gonna be fun. And I shall see you at the next jam session. Bye, guys.